Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Saturday, football Saturday, yay! Today, I don't know about y'all, but it's really dreary and rainy out here today, so I plan on staying in. I'm gonna watch my football team play here in a little while. I am gonna get some house chores done, but I am also going to try something for the first time. So this is a new recipe for me. If you've made this before, please let me know how it turned out for you. I am making an old Southern Coca-Cola cake. Does that not sound so good? I saw the recipe in a magazine the other day and I thought, oh, I've got to try this. So this is going to be my first attempt at this. So you're going to be here with me on this journey, making this for the first time. It doesn't look to be real difficult. There's a handful of ingredients in it. I'm going to show y'all all the ingredients I'm going to use here in just a minute, and hopefully it'll be yummy, as I'm hoping that it will be. I remember having this as a child. I think I remember having this at like church functions and things like that. I think this is an old Southern recipe that's probably been around since grandmothers and great-grandmothers. So we're going to try it, and hopefully it'll be really, really yummy. And thanks for coming along with me on this little journey here to make this today. And here we go, Coca-Cola cake. Okay, so I'm going to read off the ingredients listing here. Like I said, this is a new recipe for me. So in the bowl, I've got 2 cups of plain flour, 2 cups of sugar, and then I've got a half of a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking soda. Y'all, look at that. I found baking soda with a resealable lid. I know, it's the little things. I'm so excited. No more storing that box of baking soda in a Ziploc baggie and praying it don't get knocked over and all the stuff spill out. So I know, it's crazy. I get excited about little things. Back to the list. A teaspoon of baking soda and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. A cup of butter, which is 2 sticks. We're going to use 1/4 of a cup of cocoa. And then we're going to use a cup of Coca-Cola. And it says here in the recipe you can use Coke Zero, but please, like I'm going to use Coke Zero. But you're welcome to. Half a cup of buttermilk, 2 eggs, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And that's just for the cake. When we do the icing, I'll show the ingredients for the icing. There's a lot of the same ingredients for the icing. The buttermilk. Let me just say this, y'all. I could not find full-fat buttermilk, believe it or not. The store Publix did not have my full-fat buttermilk. So I ended up getting it's either low or non-fat. And I did a little Google search, and it says here that it is just as good using the low or non. So we're going to try it. Let's pray it works. But the first thing I've got to do is heat up my butter and the cocoa powder, and in a saucepan, and the Coca-Cola. I think it's the butter, cocoa powder, and the Coca-Cola, and the buttermilk. And we're going to put that all in a saucepan on the stove and get it melty and bubbling a little bit. And then we're going to pull that off, and then we're going to start mixing our flour and sugar baking soda combination into that. So I'm going to go ahead and get my pots and pans set up, and we're fixing to start making this cake. Okay, so what I've done, y'all, I've gone ahead and put in the saucepan. I have put in our butter, 2 sticks of butter, the cocoa powder, 1/4 of a cup of your cocoa powder, a cup of your Coca-Cola, and a half a cup of your buttermilk. So I'm going to put this in. It's already on. I got to get everything melty. Once it starts bubbling, it says to add it to your flour, sugar, your dry ingredients. My dry ingredients are sitting over here in my mixer, because I'm going to be doing mine in my mixer, of course. But once everything gets melty, starts to bubble a little bit, I think it will be ready to pour into the dry ingredients. And then after that, I will add 2 eggs, and I've got to get these 2 eggs and beat them slightly. So let's do that. Like I said, this is a new This is a new recipe for me, y'all. So, get our 2 eggs here. Go ahead and, oops, got a shell. You know, if you use your shell, you can get out shell. I've heard that, and I've heard a wet finger works too, y'all. I don't know that I've tried that technique, but I've heard it works. All right, there's our 2 eggs. Y'all, it is raining so hard here. I mean, it's like raining sideways, like in the Forrest Gump movie. Rain was coming up from the ground, running sideways. It's raining like crazy. You know, it has been a insane hurricane season this year, y'all. Our Gulf has just been hit. Oh, and the satellite just went out, y'all. That could be a problem for football now. That's going to have to come on up, back up before my Auburn Tigers and my Alabama Elephants play today. Yes, I root for both. I'm in a divided house. My heart remains with the Tide, but I do cheer on them Auburn Tigers when they're not playing the Tide. You know, if you live in the South, you pretty much have to pick a side, one or the other, right? So I slightly beat those eggs. As soon as this gets up and boiling, you know, a watch pot never boils, and that's what they say. This is melting actually pretty good. I'm gonna give it. I make a no-bake cookie. Has a lot of the similar ingredients. It has 2 sticks of butter, cocoa, sugar. What else does it have in it? I can't remember off the top of my head. But you add oatmeal. You add peanut butter and oatmeal to it, and then you just drop them. Ooh, that's some of the best cookies ever. That's probably one of the favorite cookies, and probably one of the easiest cookies I make. I usually do a goodie box for Christmas every year. That's usually included in that, as well as the peanut butter balls. I usually do a snickerdoodle. I usually do a bark. Y'all, white chocolate pistachio cranberry bark. Oh my goodness. Y'all, that is so good. I started making that a couple years ago. It's one of my sister Veronica's favorite things that I make for Christmas. But I like to put together goodie canisters with all kinds of yummy stuff in it. But, alright, my butter's good and melting now, y'all. Let's see if we can bring this up to a little bit of a boil. And then you want to pull it off the heat, it says, for 5 minutes. I guess to give it just a little time to cool before you start putting it in your flour mixture. But I'm going to pull this off here in just a minute, just as soon as it gets to boiling a little bit more. I'm going to pull it off, and then we can start adding it to our flour mixture. And then I believe you add your eggs and your vanilla once you get it incorporated with your flour. Just decided, since I was home today, I probably will be doing some baking. I probably will make some chocolate chip cookies later. I mean, that seems like something I do about twice a month. I do Chex Mix almost every single week. Probably won't do that this week. We did it last week. So, but and I'm thinking about doing some chicken and dressing this weekend. I love dressing. I might go ahead and get my cornbread done and put it out and let it get good and stale, and make some chicken and dressing for tomorrow. And if I do, I'll definitely show y'all. Okay, so can you see? This is kind of getting bubbly. So I am going to give it a stir. Yep. And then I'm going to pull it off the eye. And guys, I'm not going to make you sit here and watch while this cools. I'm going to let this cool real quick for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to add it to my mixture and let y'all see me mix everything up. Okay, so it's been right at 5 minutes that I've had my melted chocolate butter, buttermilk, Coca-Cola mixture here cooling. I've got my dry ingredients in this bowl. It's 2 cups of flour. I believe it was 2 cups of sugar. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Teaspoon of baking powder. No, excuse me, not baking powder, baking soda. And I believe that's it. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut my mixer on. I guess I need to plug it up. That would probably be the best way for it to work, right? Alright, I've got it on. I'm going to go ahead and start slowly. It says slowly incorporate your chocolate. Lordy, I hope this goes well. It's getting lumpy like a cake batter. I can't wait to try this. I know this is an old Southern recipe. I'm sure y'all probably had it lots of times. I've had it, but honestly, I don't remember. It's been so long. I was probably a little girl the last time I had that. Ooh, look at that. I'm going to cut it up and get it incorporated real good. If you'll remember, I've already slightly beaten 2 eggs. I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 beaten eggs. Get those in there. And a teaspoon of vanilla. I think I might have to invest in a big old thing of vanilla instead of buying these little jars. Alright, let's get that going. Let's get that mixed. As you can see, I've got a 13 by 9 pan that I'm going to. It's a sheet cake, y'all. It's not a stacked. I guess you could do stacked. I don't know. But this is a sheet cake as far as I know. Alright, I'm going to scrape my bowl down here real quick. And this is a real thin batter, y'all. Not what I would normally think was a cake batter, but they say it's very, very moist too. And not to let it cook longer than 30 minutes, 35 minutes at the most is what I've read. Because it will get dry and you don't want it dry. So I'm going to mix this just another few seconds and we're going to pour this in the pan and get it ready to go in the oven. 350 degree oven, y'all. I'm going to check it at 25 minutes. It says 30 to 35 minutes. I always check mine early. I'll be sticking a toothpick down in there and checking it and making sure as soon as I notice it isn't soupy in the middle anymore, I'm going to pull it out because, you know, things will bake after you pull them out of the oven. As you've probably are well aware of, I made brownies last week, y'all, and they're just a package. And I always pull my brownies out early, just when they barely have nothing on a toothpick. So I pulled them out last week, and yeah, they were still gummy on the inside, y'all. But guess what? Every single one of them got ate. The kids loved them. My kids love them like that. Alright, guys, so let me move my mixer here. Alright, here's our batter. See, it's kind of runny. I'm going to pour this down in my pan. Like I said, this is like a 13 by 9, I believe. Sheet cake. Anything you make a sheet cake in. You could probably use a glass if you wanted to. Or whatever. Any kind of pan that you wanted to use. You know, it might even be good stacked. I don't know. I've never had them stacked. I can smell the Coca-Cola in it, though. It's kind of smells really good with the Coca-Cola and the cocoa. So this is going to be interesting. I'm real excited about this. All right, so there's my beautiful, beautiful cake. I'm going to give it a couple little taps here. Get some of the air bubbles out of it. Y'all, I'm going to pop this in a 350 degree oven. And I'm going to set my timer for 25 minutes. Goodness gracious, don't know what I would do without that timer on my microwave, y'all. So we're going to let this go for 25 minutes. And I'm not even going to make the icing until this cake comes out and has cooled a little bit. It's a pourable icing that goes on the top that is also chocolate and Coca-Cola and butter, and confectionate sugar. So it's, so healthy for you. But anyway, all right, guys, we're going to get this cake, let it bake, let it do its thing for the next 25 minutes. And I'll see y'all back here when I pull it out. Okay, guys, my cake is out of the oven, and it is completely cooled. Look how pretty that is. Y'all, it smells really, really nice. It has a little bit of a cinnamon smell to it. And you can definitely smell the Coca-Cola in it. So I'm going to be interested to see how this tastes once we get it iced. I've got my stuff on the stove here to start the icing for the top. You just have to make sure your cake is completely cool first. Okay, so I've got a stick of butter in here and a 1/4 cup of cocoa. This is going to be our icing. I'm also going to put a 1/2 cup of Coca-Cola in here. That goes in. Once this gets melty, it says to let it boil for about 15 to 30 seconds. I guess you don't want it to boil too long. And then we're going to start putting this mound of confectionate sugar in here. So the recipe calls for anywhere from 3 to 4 cups of confectionate sugar. And as you know, confectionate sugar dissolves so quickly in liquids. That's why it takes, I think, so much to get the icing done. So it's almost like a chocolatey, cokey flavored buttercream. Oh my gosh, really yum. So I'm going to let this get up to a little bit of a boil. And like I said, they said to only let it boil for about 15 seconds. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to start scooping some confectionate sugar inside and mixing up. And they said to get it to the proper consistency. I'm not sure what that means. I'm sure that's probably the consistency of a light icing. You probably don't want it runny because it'll run through the cake. But you don't want it, globby thick either. So I would think that it probably needs just to be a little bit of a spreadable texture. So, I love Coca-Cola. That's my drink. I don't drink a lot now. I don't drink a lot of it. My thing is really sweet tea. But if I have a choice between Pepsi and Coke, I prefer a Coca-Cola. How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all prefer Coca-Cola or do you prefer a Pepsi? Oh yeah, that's rolling good. I'm gonna get this camera set where y'all can see me adding this confectionate sugar real quick. Okay, let's start adding some confectionate sugar, and I'm gonna add a little bit at a time. Like I said, this is a huge mound, isn't it? It said anywhere from 3 to 4 cups. So I'm gonna start off with about 1.5 cups and just get that mixed in. Make sure I get all the lumps. There's no lumps. Confectionate sugar sometimes wants to try to lump up, and maybe I should have sifted it. I might should have sifted it a little bit, but I didn't. So, oh well, it'll be okay. Maybe I need to whisk it. All right. We're just going to continue to put this confectionate sugar down in there. I think I will get a whisk and whisk this. Well, if I had a whisk, that would be a good thing, wouldn't it? I'm sure you want it fairly thick because you want it to be, it's icing. It's not a drizzle. It's icing. All right, let's keep on adding sugar. This is going to be a very sweet icing, y'all, I have a feeling, because it has all this sugar in it, and of course it has the Coca-Cola in it too. But I had to open a new Coca-Cola. Yeah, I drank the other one. Like I said, I don't drink Coca-Cola a whole lot, really. Very rarely do I drink Coca-Cola. But when I do want a soft drink, Coca-Cola is what I'm going to drink. So, okay, let's keep going. I
tell you what, I'm just going to add all of it. Why not, right? Now this is 4 cups of confectionate sugar, y'all. It's flying everywhere. I tell you what, it sure does smell good. Okay. And I think, too, this is going to set up. Once you pour it on the top, I think it will set up a little bit. Kind of harden, because it does have... Oh, my. Y'all. That's some good stuff right there. Alright, so I'm going to take my pan. And I'm just going to... I guess I'm just going to pour it over the top. See how nice and shiny that is? Can you see how shiny that chocolate is? Just spread it with my spatula as we go along. This is going to be a delicious cake. I can already tell that I will be making this one again. Oh, look at that. Oh, that chocolate goodness. Oh, my. Y'all, I have a weakness for sweets. I just can't help it. I like the savory, too, though. Probably savory, more so than sweet. I do make an awful lot of sweet things because I love, love, love to bake. Love to make bread. I just love to cook anything. Oh, and it's already starting to set up, y'all. If you can see, it's already getting a little film on it. I love it. So that's why it was so pretty in the picture. It gets like a little film on it of the icing. Okay, I see now. Wow, y'all. Gosh, this looks good. Mama's got to lick the spatula. Okay. Well, I'm going to move this back a little bit. I'm going to set this out of the light and off from the stove. Can y'all see that it's getting like a sheen to it? It's almost, it's thickening and hardening as it sits on the counter, y'all. Gosh, that looks so good. I can't wait to dig into this, y'all. I'll definitely have to show y'all a picture of the cake when it comes out. Y'all, I can't wait to try this cake. It looks absolutely delicious, and I'm sure once it sits out for a little while, it's going to firm up even more. I actually got in here and made 2 pounds cornbread. I don't know. I call them pounds. Do y'all call them pounds? 2 iron skillets of cornbread, homemade cornbread. I'm going to make chicken and dressing tomorrow. I think that will be our Sunday dinner tomorrow. I'll get the chicken cooked and all that and put together the dressing. But I went ahead and made my cornbread because it's better if it's a little stale. So what I'm going to do is once it cools in the pans, I'm going to crumble it up and I'm going to put it in my refrigerator overnight. So it's a little bit firm, a little bit stale. It's always better. My mama saves cornbread in rolls. She saves that stuff year round. She throws it in the freezer and just saves it and pulls it out at Thanksgiving to make a big old pan of dressing. I'm just going to make one little pan of dressing tomorrow with some chicken in it. Probably have a side of some kind to go with it. I got to run to the store and grab a few herbs like some sage and things like that. But anyway, hey, thanks for watching me make this cake for the first time. I cannot wait to cut into it. I will give you an update on how good or how not so good it tastes. I will be honest. One thing I will be is honest. And if it's not real good and it ain't worth the trouble that I went through to make it, I won't make it again. But I have a sneaky suspicion this is going to be a really good cake. So anyway, y'all have a blessed Saturday. I hope y'all are able to stay in your jammies all day and watch some football or whatever you like to do on Saturday. I hope you enjoy your time today because it is the perfect day for it. I don't want to get out in this weather at all. But anyway, God bless each and every one of you. And thank you so much for watching me cook. I really, really appreciate it, guys. And I will probably be seeing you later this weekend. And here is my slice of heaven right here, y'all. Does that not look delicious? I am going to have to take a taste of this. Oh, it's so rich. Oh, honey. Y'all, that is delicious. Very, very tasty. And let me say, it is very rich. You're going to have a cup of coffee or a glass of milk with this to cut the sweet. But I'm going to tell you what, that is delicious. And I will be making that one again. Just wanted to let y'all know. See you later, guys.